So I always dreamt of becoming a singer. And even in like my 3rd grade yearbook, there's this like picture where it's little me with my buck teeth, and we wrote like what we want to be when we grow up, and I wrote singer. And I always, if I have a hard day or, you know, big milestone moments, I always like look back at that picture. Bringin It Backwards. I'm Evangelia.
Well, this is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new song. And I know you played last night, right? You're on tour currently. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm on tour all over Greece right now. I did the Feels Like Greek Summer Tour in the US, and now it's like the Real Greek Summer Tour. And it's been a lot of fun. And today's a day off, and I'm talking to you from the island of Tinos, Greece. Which
wow.
I just came from Mykonos. I took a boat from Mykonos to get here, and I'm meeting some friends. But I got
That's amazing. Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram story. You were on a beach yesterday too, I believe.
Yes, yeah. I was on, well, we played this really awesome beach club on the island of Eos. So what's sick about that is during sound check, while the band takes a while, the drums alone, it's like a full half hour. Just chill at the pool overlooking the beach. It was pretty great.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. Well, again, I appreciate you doing this, and thanks for taking some time out of your day off to hang with me.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah. So, I did read you were born and raised. Were you born in the States and then raised in Greece, or kind of tell me about your
Yeah.
upbringing?
So I was born in New Jersey,
Okay.
and a month later, my parents took me over to the island of Crete to meet my family in Greece. My dad's from Crete, my mom's Italian American. And my dad came to the States in his like 30s, so his whole immediate family is still in Crete. And
Okay.
my grandmother's no longer alive, but I used to go there every summer and spend summers on the farm with my yeah, as we say, and I was named after her and everything. So I was like raised both in the States and both in Greece in a way. Like I spent 3 months of my entire like life in Greece every year. If that makes
Wow.
sense.
Okay. So you'd go to Greece for 3 months at a time, and then come back to the States for what, like school and everything, and then you'd go through summer.
I
Or
would like to take school early and start school late.
oh,
Just to
nice.
just to be in Greece. But yeah, it was really, really special so a lot of kids would get to go to camp. Like for me, it was like camp was going to Yaya's farm and, hanging out with her, working on the sheep, tending to the sheep, the goats, the chickens, the olive trees, like really, really nice. And we lived right near a beach town called Paliohora, which is where I'm from. So then we go to the beach, and I have my friends, and it's just was really, really lovely and special to get the opportunity to have that be my like normal. It was amazing.
Yeah, that is so
Yeah.
cool. Like, at what age, or did you end up just staying in Greece at one point or another, or were you like, say, after high school, or after you're kind of like having to go to school in the
Other
States or whatever?
Yeah, well, what's not even in college, I still go to Greece in the summers, and now I try to come as much as I can. Well, now with my music career kind of picking up on both sides of the world,
Yeah.
I've had a good reason to come to Greece. And I also have usually always only spent time in Crete because that's where my family was, and any time away from Crete meant time away from my family, which was like limited since I
Hmm.
lived in the States. But now with this tour that I'm doing, I'm getting to see all these new places in Greece that I've never been to, even though I've been coming to Greece my whole life. So it's been really cool to get to like island hop and explore these different places from like the north to the south to random islands. It's been so, so cool.
That is amazing. I love the fact that you have such big, you have like radio records and big hits in Greece. I mean, that must be such a cool thing for your family that's there all the time to like see like, oh my gosh, my niece or my granddaughter is like on the radio here in
Yeah.
Greece. Like that's wild.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. It's particularly cute when I'm on like TV. Oh, I do a lot of like live interviews here and
Uh-huh.
they all tune in and I like say and hey to my family and I know they're watching and then afterward I call them, like, what'd you think? It's quite
That's
wholesome.
so awesome. That is
It's really,
so awesome.
yeah.
Well, how did you get into music? Do you come from a musical household, a creative family?
Uh, Creative family for sure. My mom sings, but more like jazz show tune stuff is her vibe.
Okay.
My dad isn't really in music, but his family, like my aunt's, also quite wholesome. My dad's sister and like her kids, they all were in like the town choir. How cute is that?
That is
The
pretty
village
cute.
choir. I know.
I love that the
Um,
town has a choir. Yeah, that's
Exactly,
awesome.
like the village choir, and my cousins play the traditional instruments, and my dad was the cultural chairperson of the Pan-Cretan Association of America, which meant that he was in charge of bringing all sorts of musical, theatrical, arts events from the island of Crete to America and like would organize
Wow.
and everything. So a lot of these traditional musicians would come through our home. And like, we always cooked for them and like hung out with them and everything. So I just really grew up around this rich appreciation for my culture and where I come from. Um, and so really loving like traditional Greek music, but then also being like a kid in America and having my mom listening to jazz records and everything like that, but then also like Britney Spears and NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, everything that was everything at that time.
Mhm.
um, so I always dreamt of becoming a singer, and even in like my third grade yearbook there's this like picture where it's little me with my buck teeth and we wrote like what we want to be when we grow up, and I wrote singer. And I always, if I have a hard day or big milestone moments, I always like look back at that picture to
Mhm.
remind me. Um, but yeah, I always loved it. But I also, grew up in an immigrant household where doing music is not particularly encouraged as a career choice, not the most stable, one might
Yeah,
say.
right.
And
100%.
so, so I studied and became a teacher, which is the only other thing I like. Truly, if I wasn't doing this pop star singer thing, like I
Mhm.
love being in the classroom and teaching. And I got my master's in special ed, and I taught for 3 years. And by day,
Wow.
I was teaching. Yeah, and even I went to Rutgers in Jersey,
Yeah,
and
wow.
yeah, I'd like host the open mic nights. I'd be like, everybody thought I was in the music school, but I was not. Like I taught science and social studies. So like it was just not. Everybody's like, oh, so you
They're
were a
like,
music. I'm
"She's
like,
better at this than us, and we're in the program. Like, what's going on?"
um, so I just always loved the community of like music and bringing people together and open mic nights and all of that and like networking, going to New York. So when I was a teacher, I was like teaching by day, and by night I was running around New York City and Brooklyn. Like I would come back to work the next day, and like the teachers that were in the know about my double life would like see my Instagram story and be like, girl, you were in Brooklyn like 4 hours ago. How are you here right now? Um,
Wow.
and then there were budget cuts in the school district, which is messed up on the government. And they cut all the non-tenured teachers, including
Oh my
myself. So
gosh.
some teachers, like, we lost our jobs. And for me, though, it was this moment of like, I always like deep down, I always wondered like, what if I could give it 100%? Like, what if I could give music 100% of my time and like 100% like true try? But it would have been hard to leave the safety net and to like quit my job. But this kind of gave me the opportunity to not choose to leave, but to like open the door and show me a way out in a sense, and to not have to look for another job for a minute. So that's kind of
Wow. Well, yeah. So it sounds like, yeah, it's like, yeah, the universe is like, yeah, you're supposed to be a singer, so we're gonna kind of push you out of this career path that
exactly.
you're currently in. So then we'll give you a moment here to focus, and you can understand that this is really what you need to be doing. Um,
Exactly. It
wow.
really felt like a universe moment. Definitely a
What
big.
it was that? What year was that? Was that recent ish?
That was 2018 June. Yeah, that was
Okay.
2018 June, the end of the 2018 school year,
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
I know. I feel like with COVID though, we lost like 2.5 years.
So much time. Yeah, easily. Sure.
Um, So it's like long ago, but I'm like, guys, wait, it's
It
not
really
that long.
wasn't that long ago. Right, yeah. I
Time
mean,
is
just
shit.
to get caught before all that, I mean, that's so crazy to think. And the fact that you were doing special ed, were you teaching special ed?
Yeah, I was teaching special ed.
That's amazing. My mom was a special ed teacher, so I
Oh,
think that's
respect.
so cool.
Respect.
That's so
Teachers,
cool.
teachers are very, very special humans, and the world needs to appreciate them more, is what I think.
100%. I 100%.
Yes.
With your music, so like you were just it was kind of just a hobby or something that you enjoyed doing, but through high school, grade school, all of that, and then um once you got to college, you're like, oh, I want to be a teacher because you were talking about how music really wasn't sought
Yeah.
to as like you're gonna go do this and this is gonna be your career path.
Yeah.
Were you writing
Basically.
songs and stuff at that point, or playing in a band or anything like that?
Yeah, I was writing songs towards the end of high school. Is when I like really picked up because actually soccer was like my first love, and it used to be like all my time was spent on that. Then I tore my ACL when I was 16, and I had a lot of time on my hands not being able to play soccer. And so that's when I started learning like ukulele and guitar on like YouTube, just like in bed because I had nothing else to do. And
Yeah.
like really, really loving that. And I got into actually Ingrid Michaelson. And I loved at the time, like her albums that came out was like really simple, like just an instrument and her voice. And that was very inspiring for me at the time because I had an instrument and my voice. So I was like, I can write a song, you know? So it was really, that was really inspiring for me. And then when I went into college, I did open mic nights and would write and perform by myself. But then I also started this blues band, and it was me, this other girl singing like harmonies and sometimes leads. We had a guy on acoustic guitar and a trumpet, and it was so much
Wow.
fun. And we played like basement shows at Rutgers, and I got a lot of experience from that. And it was a lot of fun and a whole other part of my life, but it was like bluegrassy kind of fun vibe. And then yeah, but I always love pop music and like Latin music and again the traditional Greek, and I'm very much like I love to go out and like party and dance all night long. And I couldn't quite like create the music that I was hearing in my head, like I didn't have the capabilities to do it.
Yeah.
um and then, especially in Greece, by the way, the partying here is out of this world. Have you been to Greece
I have
yet?
not, and my mom is Greek, and I've never been.
What? We should
Yeah.
stop like that.
I'm
You're
sorry?
half, you're half Greek.
Or, at least quarter, yeah, full quarter.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
if
my mom, like, she watches would watch, like, the Big Fat Greek Wedding, all that stuff, and that was just, that was, like, her life. Like, she just yeah, pretty wild. I can't remember where in Greece. She's told me, like, 15 times, and I'm just like,
you
I
gotta
don't
come,
remember.
trying to come reconnect with your roots because it's They're very delicious. Okay, the food's really, really good.
Yeah, I
And,
see it's beautiful there too.
and it's beautiful. And yeah, like literally last night we went out after the show. The show ended at like 2 a.m. and then us and the band went out and got to this bar at like 2 a.m. and it was still not full, and it got full around 4 a.m. and we were there till
Oh my
6.
gosh.
I left. It was like, why are you leaving? Like, you literally stay out till the sun comes up here. It's like, it's a whole, like, people say New York City never sleeps. Like, no, the entire country does not sleep and
That
partying.
that's amazing. Well, your music, it definitely has that vibe of like this is a song you could that will be rocking at the club at, 3 in the morning and people are just be like,
Dance. And so basically a couple months after I decided to go full force into music, and I was like in New York, like networking, doing everything I could, I met Jay Stolar, who's my boyfriend and life partner, but now also full on creative partner, all the music and everything we've done from the start. And it was the first time that because I had the idea of like blending like the elements and creating something a little more dance and I don't want to say ethnic, but like really taking in my roots in the music. And a lot of producers at the time were like, I don't know about that. Or I don't know about using Greek, or like, don't think that's cool. But Jay was the first person that like got it because he also knew me so well and was like, dude, you're always speaking Greek, you're talking about Greek dancing, you like love, like it's just so deeply an important part of who you are. So now that I was focusing on music like for real, where it's not just an after school activity, it's like we gotta pick our lane and like explore that and experiment and mine and create. And so it was the first time that I felt like, oh man, this really feels finally like truly who I am and what I want to share with the world. And it's been really, really cool to get to incorporate my culture and like my language and some of the instruments and in all different ways. Like each song not every song has as much Greek as the other, or it's different instruments, but it's been really, really cool and very special for me to reconnect with my culture in that way. Like it's brought me closer, even closer to my dad, who didn't want me to do music at first. He like gives me like sends me old Greek songs and stuff to inspire me, and it's really cute. It's really cute.
I love that. I was going to ask you, but I mean, you answered the question meeting, your partner, but because you were talking about having your dad would bring acts from Greece to the States and artists, and they would come through your house and stay with you all. I didn't know if that was part of like what played a real big role in your songwriting early on, but it sounds like it was always there, but this just kind of came together once you both got together to write music together.
Yeah, like it was always there. Like for me, I was always so passionate about like the tradition. You've seen like, if you've seen my big fat Greek wedding, they're dancing in like a circle and stuff, like the traditions are so deep in my blood. Like I feel like I was reincarnated from like a long time ago, because since I was really, really little, like I just like danced them. Like I like knew the steps. Like it was just like that girl really likes this. Like it was just very evident. Yeah, but I never quite knew. And to also be honest with you, those early on conversations that I had with people kind of being like, I don't really know about this culture. It's like they weren't ready yet. It was like kind of like we were ahead of the game. Like now I feel like today there's a lot more of an appreciation of people bringing, other backgrounds and cultures into their music. But there was a time when that wasn't necessarily like the cool thing to do. And yeah, I was almost afraid of like not being cool if I did that. But then once I actually did incorporate it and go and do it, that's when everything changed, and like I signed a record deal because of what we were doing. And because I was myself, and I was like, wow, all this time, I just had to be me. Didn't like
Isn't that wild to think? I mean, I was just thinking about that when you're talking, like, you, as a young artist, you know, you're like, okay, I want to go into this. I lost this job. I want to go into this full 100%. And then you have this idea, and people are like, you know, that's not going to work. And you're probably sitting there like, well, I guess maybe it's not going to work because, um, you know, being green to the whole thing at the time, you wouldn't know. And then when you're authentic, then you decide you meet this other person, and then you're 100% authentic to yourself and your roots, and it's like it pops off as like the thing that worked out. It's like it's crazy how that happens, right? Everyone's afraid to be
yeah,
themselves, but when they are, it's like it works. I feel like TikTok and everything you see there, it's like people that are authentic is the stuff that gets viral. If somebody tries to recreate some other thing that somebody else has done, or if it's too polished and pretty, or it doesn't resonate the same way. And I think people can just kind of see through the bullshit when it comes to like being authentic.
yeah. I I fully agree. It's kind of, yeah, it was kind of a crazy thing when I had that realization.
That's so
I was like,
awesome.
oh, and I had to like really like lean into it and be not, but they were like, I had friends be like, you know, you should Greek, like you're literally like, you could if, professionally Greek dance. Like I would dance at like high level like dance groups or whatever. They're like, you know that. So now like I started this like thing where I dance. There's this traditional dance Bedozali from my island, and it's
Mhm.
actually traditional dance. But women now dance it too. But it's kind of like I love it as a statement of like we're here. It's 2024, and yes, I'm gonna dance Bedozali, and all these different places that I travel to. I dance Pedozali, and like I post like dancing Pedozali around the world, and it's been cool because I actually went to, for example, like South Africa for a show where I opened for this amazing artist named Konstantinos Argyros. He's Greek, and he had this big show in South Africa, and he brought me to open for him. But like I posted that I was coming to South Africa, and this like Greek dance group reached out to me that they wanted to do a video with me to dance Fetozali with me, and I was like, let's do it. And so we met up in the square, and we choreographed and did like this Greek dance in South Africa, and it's just been like such a cool thing. And I've had different people reach out to me, or even like at shows, just be like, hey, like you helped me get in touch with my culture, like appreciate where I come from, or like want to learn my language, or you know, even people that aren't Greek but come from immigrant families, you know, just wanting to get closer to where they come from. So it's been really special.
Love it. And with like, you know, you meet your partner, and you guys start writing songs, and then where do you see the first like success of it like working? Like you're like, whoa, like of course I should have done this. This is the sound, and this is what we should have done.
Yeah. In the studio, the first one was my song Bame Bame, which ended up being the first song we released. But I
Huh.
remember sitting in the corner, or like sitting in the room, and I'm like, you got to figure out something Greek to say. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go in a corner and just think. Because I wanted to think of like a word that is accessible to like the Western ear as well. And the word pame in Greek means let's go. And it's pretty easy to say. So
Mhm.
it's like pame, pame, like let's go, let's go. Like you say it, you know, Spanish songs were starting to come up at the time, like vale, vale, dale, dale, pame, pame. Like it just kind of worked.
Mhm.
And once we just kind of added that in, it was just like pame, pame. And then like the bouzouki came in. The bouzouki is this traditional Greek instrument. And then the bouzouki came in, and we were like, oh, this is lit. This is lit. And it was like, um, That demo and the demo for my song Diving were the two like demo versions of songs we sent over to Patrick Mushatsi-Kuriba at Sony Music, Germany in Europe. And he just was like, yep, I get it. And we were like, whoa, let's do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then do those songs do well right away, or like what was uh you know I know you had like a huge viral moments on TikTok and stuff, right? With your
So
songs, and
that
like
was
was
like,
that soon after that, or way down the line?
yeah. So Bomb was like the first demo where like literally when we were in the experimentation phase of like, okay, this is lit. But then my song Fotia, where we incorporated, it was all in English except for this one line, Fotia me sta matya su, which means fire in your eyes. And it came out in English and with that one line. And then 6 months later, I'm in Greece to film a music video for another song. And I meet Eleni Foureira, who is like the biggest pop artist in the country of Greece, slash very well known in Europe in particular for coming second place in the Eurovision Song Contest. So she's like, yeah, like they call her like the Queen of Europe. Like people, like she went like I don't even know what number platinum in Spain for the song. Like she's just kind of like a queen.
Huge.
Summer,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's like the thing. And every summer when I'd come to Greece and like party all night long, there was always an Eleni Foureira song that was like my song of the summer because they play her in the clubs. And she walks in the room as we're like brainstorming, singing my song, singing Fotia. And I was like, what the heck? This is crazy. And she sits down. She's like, I love this song. I heard it. It like came up. She's like, I heard this song and I was like, I want this song. We got to make this song, basically. And she just like loved like what I was doing and kind of looked into me and my background. And she was like, we should do it as a duet in Greek and Spanish because she also sings in Spanish for that audience. And that song, and I always knew Fotia would be like my little like sleeper hit in a way. And it's still, you know, I'm still like a developing artist and growing. And so there's always like, you know, immense room to grow with it. But for me, it was just like, oh, Fotia, like I know it's gonna, it just like is so good. It deserves its moment. And we did the duet and it was like #1 on the radio for a very long time, for like over a year. And we
That's
like,
crazy.
I did like my first TV performance with her. I was the first girl she's ever done a duet with. She's only ever collaborated with guys. So it was like a really like special
Huge
thing.
deal. Yeah.
Known for her choreography and for her dancing. And it was like my first time performing on TV and I had to like dance next to her. But I practiced really hard and she was super nice and really encouraging to me. But it just like, that definitely changed everything. And like a little clip of me singing it, the English version acoustic, like went viral and stuff. And so like, and then Deborah De Luca, who's this amazing like techno DJ artist from Italy, like heard the song on TikTok and she made a remix of it and just DM'd me and was like, I want to put this out. What do you think? And I was like, hell yeah. So like it's playing at tech. And it's just been cool because this is the, you know, and we just performed it actually at Times Square. She came to do like a surprise concert. And so I was singing my song, Fotia, which has bouzouki in it. And I was just like, look at this. Like bouzouki is like blasting. Like what an international
In
crazy
Times Square, yeah.
Oh man, we got this Italian DJ, it's techno, I'm singing up here, I'm singing in Greek and English, and then Bouzouki's like bumping. It was cool.
That is amazing. And you recently put out a new record, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Well, tell me about that song, and then I want to hear about what you have coming up because I know you're on tour, and I don't want to take too much time away from your day off here.
Good. So I just released a new song called Mykonos, which is about literally what I explained to you before, that Greeks party all night long and just it's like completely normal to show up somewhere at 4 a.m. and it is the best time to show up. And just staying up and seeing the sunrise, and kind of like a testament to some of my favorite nights out with my friends, where we're just literally like dancing all night long till you see the sunrise, and then you go to the beach, and then you just like do it all. You sleep a little in the afternoon, and then you do it all over again. And Mykonos is the most famous island for this party scene. And Mykonos is a special place and has this crazy energy of like everybody there is just ready to have a good time. And there's no sleep. There's no sleep in Mykonos. It's just having a good time. And that's literally basically what the song is about. It's just like keep me up all night like Mykonos, and just having a great time. And that's what I want people to hear it, to just want to get up and like dance and have a good time with their friends, and hopefully associate it with some really good memories.
Love it. Yeah, it's such a party song. I really, really like it. And I love
Thank you.
the remix that you just put out too. That's a cool version too.
Thank
And do you
you.
have I mean, that's new, but do you have other stuff on the way?
Always have other stuff on the way, but
Okay.
we're kind of in a bit of we're in between some songs right now. And
Okay.
so we're figuring out what the next move is going to be. So right now we're riding out the summer on
Love it.
Mykonos, and
It's a summer jam.
exactly. We're partying it up.
Love it. Love it. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I have one more question for you. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Yes, I do have advice. I think big thing is to just do the art, and to just do it, and recognize that it's gonna take a lot of, you just have to like create and create and create, because each thing you create, even though it might not be it or the thing that might like blow you up or whatever, it's like one step closer to whatever that thing is going to be. And to not be afraid of being seen as cringy or whatever it is, like get over the embarrassment thing of like getting yourself out there, and just like do the art and post it on the internet, and just keep going, and like networking. And you just really never know where your path is going to take you, because I could not have guessed, if somebody told me while I was teaching that I would be doing a podcast with you today from the island of Tinos, in between my like Greek summer tour with this like really amazing artist that I'm touring with right now, I'd be like, I mean, that sounds awesome, but like I just don't see how that's gonna work. It's just like, just keep going and keep creating, and things start to fall into place.
Bringin It Backwards.